Hey, good morning, ladies. Good morning, good morning. Sorry, I'm on a couple minutes late. I had to go fix a toilet. That's always fun. Hey, Catherine, good to see you.
Morning.
Good morning. All right, all right. Hey, Jennifer and Kristen and Angie. Good to see you, ladies. Angie, where are you today?
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. I'm in Bowling Green, Kentucky, so not far away. So we're on our way home here in just a little bit.
All right, cool. Very good. So, ladies, it is day 42. How do you feel? Catherine, you're shaking your head. Let's check in. So, Jennifer, how are you feeling today?
Okay. I'm okay.
Okay. We're not going to talk about numbers today. I'm just finding out how you're doing. So, Irma, how about you? How are you doing today? And I don't know if
I am doing well.
good.
Yep, I'm
Awesome.
doing well.
Pam, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing okay.
All right. Don't you love how we have, yeah, I'm doing good. There's another category that's I'm okay. And there's another category that's like, I'm doing great today. Oh, and then there are some days where it's like, pass.
I was, yeah.
Oh, goodness. Kristen, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I just got done working out, so I'm all sweaty.
Oh,
But other
yay.
than that, I'm good.
Good, good. All right. And then we've got Nkeshi. How are you today, my friend?
I'm good. Good morning.
I love that. I'm good. You know, there's like an extra gusto in there.
Oh, I guess it's better. Look, it sounds better than how I feel. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. All right. And then Karen just joined us. Karen, how are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm doing well, thank you.
Great. That was firm and confident. Good to hear that. So, yesterday we began to broach the topic of control. And so, I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about that. And I'd like to talk about the need for a sense of control in our lives. So, I want you to think about a situation where, you know, maybe it's happened in the past, or maybe it's just, it could be something that was a one time event, or it could be something that is repetitive. You're constantly trying to get control in this particular situation. And so I want you to think about it and really, really just process for a moment here. What am I trying to control in this situation? So I'll give you an example. Whenever I do events like tonight, I spent most of the day yesterday getting everything ready for our gala tonight, and I want it to be really special. And so I'm really particular about the way things look, and I want everybody to walk in and feel super welcome, super comfortable, but also feel like they're walking into um, just a place of love and acceptance and awe. I want this to be a celebration. And so yesterday, a gal came in. Amanda manages all of our vendors. And so she got this one vendor to create a picture backdrop with a balloon spray and all of this. And so the gal came in, and anyway, I had some decorations that I was going to put out sitting on a table. And so she started taking the decorations and putting it around the balloon spray. And there was something that rose up in me like, no, I have a picture for, I didn't know where those need to go. And so we started, she says, hey, can I use these decorations? I said, well, I actually have plans for those. But we'll see what we can drum up to help create the feeling that you're wanting to have with your backdrop. But I realized something rose up in me like, oh, that's going to interfere with my picture of what celebration looks like. And so I just started working through this mental process and looking at myself. I was like outside of myself, looking at myself like, what are you doing? These are just decorations. Why the need to control it? And what a great question. Why is it that we feel the need to control? So I want to give you a full 2 minutes where I want you to think about that situation and look at it and ask yourself, why did I need control in this situation, or this situation that's happening all the time? Why is it that I respond in this way and I just feel the need for control? So I'm going to set the timer 2 minutes. All right. Here we go. Five seconds. All righty. So who'd be willing to share something that you thought of, a situation where you've tried to maintain control? Catherine.
Good morning. Well, I'm not doing well at all. And this is a good topic because it's probably been about 2 weeks. I'm really struggling with my emotional pillar, which is affecting all the other pillars. And my situation is with my mother. Maybe some don't know, but I'm my mother's caretaker, and she's in hospice, and essentially she's pretty much in her last days with us. And so trying to control her comfort level is pretty intense. So I'm trying, and I'm anyway, so it's quite a journey to try and figure out every day, even throughout one day in certain circumstances, how can I control her comfort level? How can I control what hospice nurse and staff do for her to help control that comfort level? So it's pretty intense, and it's very emotional, and it's very hard when I do know that there are some things that are out of my control. So I've been dealing with this control thing for pretty intensely for a couple of weeks, and it's very challenging. So I'm just trying to get through it. I'm trying to pray about it, of course, because I know ultimately it's in God's timing when he takes her home, but I still have a responsibility to her while she's here with me. So it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. So that's what I'm waiting through, kind of pushing through, navigating and figuring out. So this is a good topic.
Yep.
It's a tough one for me right now, but
Yeah.
but I'm getting through. So that's my situation.
You're in a very difficult time, and it's a milestone in your life that's happening, and you're right in the middle of it. And so I imagine it's pretty palpable for you, and just, there's good reason. You know that your mother she's not going to be here forever. And I imagine too, the uncertainty of knowing when that's happening is really weighing on you and causing a lot of tension within yourself. Yeah. We're going to be praying for you, Catherine. I know that you've been going through this, and it doesn't make it a whole lot easier, but just starting to look at, okay, these are the reasons why this is happening. That helps us to take that energy and put it to good use, even though it is painful. And the truth is we're never going to be completely pain-free as long as we walk on this earth, whether it's your mother or you or me or Kristen or anybody, right? There's always going to be a certain amount of pain that goes along with everything that we go through. So we're with you on that. Someone else want to share something that you've been trying to control or manage?
I just thought it was a really interesting question because I couldn't come up with maybe the answer of what, but and this is really dumb, but when we fold the laundry and the towels are, in my mind, towels are folded a certain way. It doesn't really matter, but I always show the kids, this is how why? Why does it have to be folded that way? And I'm like, I don't know, because that's how you fold a towel. And so the question that you asked really provoked in me, why does it matter? And not just about the towels, that was just the first thing that popped in my head, but why, I think I get so frustrated because I want things a certain way. But what does it matter? And so that just led me, I just kept thinking over and over again, why do I want control? Why do I want control? So
Yeah.
that's all I got. But it was an interesting question to be asked.
So I love that you're bringing up towels, because a lot of times we see that need for control showing up in the daily tasks, right? Or, in our relationships. And so rhetorical, well, you can answer this, but how is that towel like your life?
I want it to be orderly for sure. And it's
You
not.
want it. Yeah, exactly. And so that towel represents something much deeper, something, I mean, control is about having deep, deep needs. And we have a need for the sense of control. And so when we don't feel that sense of control, we start to act it out with everything. I mean, we're here in Fit and Focus because we're trying to pry our fingers off of control, and instead of, stuffing our faces and binging food, that is an output of a deeper need for control. And that's why a lot of us get in trouble with food. But even in our daily lives, when we're like, when I go home and I don't sit down until things are in order, that came from somewhere. There's a reason why that happened. And when I was growing up, I know that we didn't sit down till everything was done. And we were lazy if we sat down before every single chore was done. And so there are some things that are just totally ingrained in us where we feel like, this has to be done this way in order for me to be able to relax, or for me to finally be comfortable. So, good example there, Jennifer. So someone else have a situation.
Can I share?
Yeah.
Like Catherine, my mom had a bad week last week, a rough week, but I'm just, and then yesterday I had to take someone to the hospital, to have some testing done. And because my husband was sick, he couldn't take this person. So I handled that yesterday, but I was feeling way out of control. Had to ask someone else that I was supposed to take care to get somewhere, to get somebody else to get them somewhere. And then I talked to 2 doctor's offices when I got home about my husband, and the doctor at 4 o'clock decided he really should go to the immediate care center, or he should go to an ER to be seen. But he did not want to go. He did not feel well enough. He said, I want to go tomorrow morning. And I go, tomorrow morning I have another responsibility that is very important. So then I'll go tomorrow afternoon. And I thought in that moment, I let it go. I was able to let it go. It was like, I went to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I cooked what I was supposed to eat. But later, I felt like this rebel and wanting to be in control, but not able to be in control because he's an adult, and I ate a bowl of cereal. And it was because I wanted to be in control.
Yeah.
But then I wasn't in control. And I just like all day. I did a good all day.
Yeah.
And I let that, I think cumulative moments, but that was like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. And then not only that, right before I ate that bowl of cereal, my sister texted me and said, could you possibly do such and such in the morning for me, be a backup? And I was like, I told her, I can't do one more thing.
Yeah.
And I can't do one more thing. I can't. And then I felt bad because I had to say no to her.
Yeah. So there's this cycle that keeps happening. There's, for you, Pam, you've got that really, really strong, deeply rooted value of harmony where you want everything to be harmonious, but it doesn't, things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking for places to control, and you can't control your husband. I mean, hey, newsflash, everybody, we can't control other people.
Right.
I've tried. We've all tried. We realize that does not work. And so, we try to control other people, and then when they don't do things consistently like we would, or they're not playing along, then we get upset with that, and it just seems like chaos ensues. And so I want to point something out here, and around control, we really just need a sense of control. We may not have actual control over a person and what they do and whether they're consistent or not, but we can actually create the sense of control by stepping back from these situations and really looking at them for what they are. And my question to you, just in general, what is it that is driving you to need control? And there can be a lot of things. It could be that, yes, maybe you need power. Maybe you need to feel like you're powerful. Maybe your reason for needing control is a trust factor. Like, that if you're in charge, it's going to go exactly like you think. And so you eliminate any kind of risk, or you avoid pain. And so that might be the reason why you're trying to control, or you just want everybody to play nice, and you can only relax in your mind if everybody else is playing along harmoniously. I mean, it's a trap that we fall into. So would you say, this is for everybody to answer, would you say that the source, or the actual need for you, is one, is it power? You need to feel powerful. Is it two, is it really about trust? You need to trust. The third, is it risk? Are you trying to avoid risk because it's painful? I mean, is it actually your pain? You need to control so that you can control pain. What is it for you? So take a moment to think about that, and anybody can respond to that.
Andrew, I was going to say earlier, I know when you were talking about the gala and, you wanted to, just make sure everything was good. I was just thinking, just came in my mind, not necessarily a scenario, but how everything you've been saying and everybody's, testaments of why they, control is like rooted in fear to me.
Yeah.
And for me, what came up for myself, I think it's like, hey, I'm kind of like, I've always been like, or I kind of grew up as like, she's the peacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of made me feel like, I had to be the one to make sure everybody got along. And so
Yeah.
I really had to learn to kind of like throughout my life just to, realize like I'm not responsible for everybody's because that's a big burden to carry.
Yeah.
But for me, the outcome was just kind of like, okay, even if I do everything perfectly, guess what? People still gonna act up sometimes, or just whatever the situation is. So for me, I had to, really unlearn how to, whatever the outcome is, I have to release control.
Yeah.
So for me, that was rooted, I think, in fear of making like, okay, if I'm happy, that means, well, everybody has to be happy. Or if
Yeah.
everybody's not happy, then it means I cannot be happy. So for me, that's where it.
Very well said. I mean, that's what we're getting to. The root of all of this has to do with fear. And so maybe, what is there to fear? Are you afraid that you're not going to be loved, or people aren't going to see you as competent, or that you're not good enough? I mean, it comes down to those very, very deep and personal things that we grapple with in our lives. That fear is like the poison that just keeps on giving, right? It just keeps on trying to work its way back. So the way that we're going to end today's, I do want to give you some reflection homework, and it's on this very topic. I want you to really dig deep into what is it for you? What's the control about for you? And I want you to think about more than one situation. Catherine, I know you mentioned your mother. Maybe there's another area. Maybe it's a spouse or a sibling. Maybe it's, Karen, like maybe it's you're not feeling in control of your business. And I'm just making this up. You're not in control. Kristen and Pam, you're not in control of a diagnosis. You're not in control of those things. And what is the root of that? What is it that just is showing up for you, that's working in you, that we just have to get down to the very root of it? So is it power? Is it trust? Is it risk? Is it pain? Is it harmony? And then what is that feeling? What's the fear there? So that's what I have for you today. And then we'll come back tomorrow and I'll give you a chance to share more about that. And we'll start working on ways to regain that sense of control. Any last comments before we go?
Real quick, as we're thinking about these fears, one of the other things it's kind of bubbling up for me is the fear real? Because sometimes it is, and sometimes like, okay, so if someone doesn't like me, or they're mad at me, or they're disappointed, or they're uncomfortable, then what? And we sometimes when we're avoiding fear, we let that fear get really big, like the monster under the bed, and it's not. And so that's, as I'm reflecting on this, that's something that I want to keep thinking about as well. And also, sometimes we're never going to gain control. Like and so how do we live in those spaces where I'm never going to be able to control somebody else? So what do I do with that? And is that the end of the world? So anyway, I love this topic. I think it's super important. Thank you so much for bringing it up today.
Yeah. Can I add another thing that I think it could be, for some people, it can be fear of abandonment.
Yeah.
So there's a lot here. There's a lot here to dive in.
Oh my gosh, you're not kidding about that. I mean, it's for those of you that maybe you're struggling to go deep on this, I'll just give you a very simple example. So when I was growing up, my mom was super critical. She's an artist. She loved things to be aesthetically pleasing, but she was very critical, particularly towards me. So I just felt like I could never do anything right when I was coming up. And I've grown up now, and those of you that know me well know that I love to dabble in artistry. I like to make things beautiful. At the VIP center, I wanted this to be super beautiful, and I just started thinking about, why is that? What is it? And if somebody changes something around, I have to fight that urge to say, wait, no, I had that in a certain place, right? But it all goes back to just that sense of fear that I was going to do something to disappoint my mom, or it wasn't going to be perfect enough. And that has carried through my entire life. I'm a maximizer, and I'm never ever quite done with something. I've just got to maximize it and maximize it. And I want it to be aesthetically looking a certain way. So, and I realize that comes from that relationship that I had with my mom at that time. It was a really powerful reminder that I did not want to take the risk and lose her love. And I mean, our relationship has changed dramatically since then. So that's not the same mom that I have, but even when you move on like that from situations, you still have those neural pathways. You still have those things ingrained in you that you have to pull out and re-examine and say, wait a minute. All right, now let me create the right story. Let me recreate what the truth is here, because that is something that I dealt with back then. It doesn't, I can revoke permission for that to operate in my life right now. So that's just an example that I think about that I struggle with. And here we are digging really super deep again. And so don't blow this off. Come tomorrow prepared to really talk about the things that have made you who you are, where control is concerned. All right, ladies. I hope you have a great day. I'll see some of you at the gala tonight. All right. Bye-bye.